StarCraft! Welcome to today's broadcast, everybody! Brought to you by Captain America. Today we are watching a TvP between Fish Rush, our red Protoss in the top left of Shakuras Plateau, and Yosh, our blue Terran. The bottom right corner, there's a cross spawn position on Shakuras Plateau. This actually, Yosh, is actually, as far as I know, it's Last Shadow, if you've heard of him. A Terran, he was born at Day 9 Daily a little while ago. He has a very unique style of TvP that we are going to see here today. Involves quite a lot of Raxes and Marines early on. It's a great little change up in the metagame, you know, a little different from your standard 1 Rax Expo or a 1-1-1 or a 2 Rax Reactor First builds. If you don't know those builds, go ahead, Google them, check them out. I'm probably going to make some guides on those soon. But today, yeah, let's just focus on Yosh, who, I think it's his Last Shadow. It was a replay pack he submitted to Team Liquid. I'll put the link for it in the comments, and you can check it out. But he's a interesting player. He's got a nice style in TvP. I have yet to watch his TvT or TvZ, but if you like it, I can bring you some more games from him. Let's see, we're gonna see a Gateway first from our toss player, not Nexus first. We'll slow him down a little bit. You do see a lot of tosses nowadays like to go for the Nexus first against Terran. Really try and get greedy with it. So we'll see if we're going to see the fast expansion here. Okay, maybe okay, one gate is going to go gas and either core or go right for probably core and then Nexus for our toss player. It looks like they're going to scout each other last. Shakuras Plateau, in case you do not know, is there are no close spawn positions on the ladder. It's kind of an old news, so you probably know that by now. I'm a little late to the party, right? But yes. So for Fish here, he knows the Terran's not going to spawn down here, and likewise Yosh, or Last Shadow, knows the toss won't spawn here and close. So they scouted close by air first, both of them, and now they're finding their opponents. They are in cross positions. We do see a CC first from Last Shadow. Yes, this is his style build. From what I know, he's going to throw down 2 more Raxes. Looks like a 17 Rax coming down. A little bit of a probe harass being held off by that SCV. And we are seeing core first from the toss player. So we're going to see the core go first. Let me pause this for a second and just check my sounds. They're probably all right now, but I have to turn them down just because it gets really loud as the game goes on. And you won't be able to hear me. So, back into it. You do see a second Rax come down. It looks like 18. So you will have it's CC first, followed by a 2 Rax on 17 and 18, and then he walls it off. Now, very nice play. I'm not sure I feel like I've watched this before, all of us. Deja vu feeling. But you see what Yosh is doing. He's walling off. So now his Marines can spawn in here and really hold off any toss pressure from outside using the 2 barracks and supply depot wall if the toss player chooses to pressure him. And meanwhile, we do have the eBay block, the pesky Terran eBay block. It's a really nice strategy you can use to block your opponent in, or I mean prevent him from expanding. Rather, the eBay goes up faster than a Rax, and it has more hit points than a supply depot, so it's very economical to use for a block like this. We do see, looks like he's been chronoing his probes for Fish Rush here. I'm not sure the level of these players. I think they're High Master. I don't know if either one of them is Grandmaster. That's something I'm going to have to check. I know Last Shadow is definitely up there. So I'm not sure if he... I feel like he's still in Masters, though. Not certain. That is something I will have to find out. Let me know if you know. Very good player, either way. We do see poking him with the Stalker here. Not going to get anything. A little nice micro from Yoshi on defense. Oh, 1 Marine does go down. Got to be careful with these Marines. Taking some damage. Nice micro from Fish. You do see him expanding to his 3rd here. Since the natural's blocked, he's just going to take the 3rd. It's a trick you often see Zergs do. Say in a PvZ, if the Protoss player, blocks the Zerg with the pylon, they can oftentimes, instead of getting the Lings out to destroy the pylon, they'll just go right for the 3rd. And in this case, it's the Protoss player doing that. And we're going to see a little bit of a bunker walk here. Yosh throwing down a 2nd bunker. So he has to be very careful. He only has Marines early, and this Stalker here, well, in case you didn't know, well, it outranges Marines. It has a range of 6. Marines have a range of 5. So very good micro. With very good micro, you can kite the Marines all day and do a lot of damage, only take shield damage as a toss player, and then fully regenerate and go back in and cause some more havoc. Can be very annoying for a... Oh, here we go. Can be very annoying for a Terran player. And we do see he does go up to 6 Raxes. I would have to check the timing on this. Try and probably put it in the comments for you. We're going to see the fast 3 Nexus from our Toss player. Meanwhile, we do have 6 Raxes from the Terran. It's going to stay on 2 bases. Pulling a couple SCVs for repair and throwing down a total of 3 bunkers at the ramp. If we check his vision, he does not know about either expansion at this point. He hasn't been able to get a scout out. Last Shadow hasn't. So he really can't be sure what the Toss player is doing. If he's really, double expanding like this, or if he's going to go for more of a 1 base kind of all in, or even a 2 base push. We do see 3-gate Robo. With 3 bases like this, he's not going to be like an immortal timing push necessarily. Probably he'll get some units out for defense. But with the fast third, you'll probably see Fish be a little bit on the defensive here, just because the longer he goes, he's on 3 base, the Terran's on 2. It gives him an advantage. The longer the game pulls, the longer the game runs, his economy will be higher, will be better, because he's producing 3 probes at once versus the Terran's 2 SCVs. We do see a factory finally coming down. Yosh, or Last Shadow, to go up to 3 gases here. And he's going to go for a tech lab. Likely to get either combat shield or stim, depending on what he wants to do here. If he's going to play defensive, probably combat shield. If he wants to push and do damage, it'll be stim. Stim, does wear down your hit points, but it helps you do a lot more damage. And probably see some medevacs once this factory finishes. He'll probably go up to a reaction port, be my guess. Very nice play here. Very clean. We do check. Let's check the income tab. You can see it's actually a good advantage for Fish here, up by 12 harvesters. The mules even it out a little bit, but definitely in Fish's favor with 3 Nexi out. I think is it Nexi? Oh, 5 more gates coming out here. Going to go up to a total of 8. And check the production tab again. We do have stim and a reactor starport on the way, as well as reactors on a couple of the barracks. Going to see a lot of Marines here. 1 Marauder. Okay, he's going to supplement with a couple Marauders, but it's going to be mostly Marines from the Terran player. With 3 gas, you can easily afford medevacs and upgrades. Doesn't look like he's going to get his ghosts right now. We do have an observer from Fish in, scouting it out. He sees the mass Rax play as well as the reactor port. Really gives him a heads up what's going on and knows how to hold it defensively. SCV scout from Yosh, or Last Shadow. Keep wanting to call him Yosh. Is like Yoshi from Super Mario, right? Well, does not get a good scout off. He has seen the expansion at the natural, but at this point, Last Shadow does not necessarily know there's a 3rd. We do have the Robotics Bay and an Immortal, so we will see Colossus Tech. It's interesting, with this many gateways, I'd almost expect the Toss player to go for more of a Templar Tech route. What you see with parting when you go 3 Nexuses really fast, you can get the Templars out, shut down drop play. Instead, we're going to see Colossus play, and this could be a little tricky here because we do have the medevacs coming out for Last Shadow. Could be a little hard to hold this off. That being said, it looks like Stim about to finish. Looks like we're going to have a push here. And, a Twilight Council on the way. We will see Templars soon. But it's going to be a push from Last Shadow. We'll have to see... Nope, let's go follow these guys. How do you what's the hotkey? There we go. I'll have to see what Fish can do to hold it off. Going right for the natural, Yosh is. And he still does not know about the 3rd. A couple sentries here. Could get a force field on this ramp, cut the army in half. Okay, Yosh scans, sees what he's up against, and Stim is finished as he goes in. Gonna push up the ramp here, do a lot of damage. Watch out, these Marines are gonna die to this. Alright, nice pickup. Great pickup from Last Shadow here. Gonna drop them off again. Doing a lot of damage with this push. We do see the supply 10 in the Terran's favor. Looks like Colossus on the way. Will Last Shadow be able to hold this push? He's well outgunned here with these Marines. We do have more Zealots warping in. Nice kiting from Last Shadow. Really doing a great job here kiting for this battle. Takes out the army of Fish. Gonna do some damage to the natural. Can he take it out completely? Well, let's see. What do we have following up? We do have +1 for the Terran. Looks like no expansion jet. Warping some sentries on the high ground. Gonna hold the ramp. Looks like Fish will sacrifice the expansion. Nope, with the Colossus gonna push. It's gonna be tricky here. Nice micro from Last Shadow. Will he get the Nexus? Is he gonna get it? Yes. He targets it. Yes, he does get it. Gonna fall back now with 2 medevacs. Loses 1. Alright, gets 1 medevac out. Pulls a Viking back. Interesting. We see the the factory floating across. So fish is back to 2 bases. It's down by 10 supply, but it's still a pretty even game at this point. We do have some more Marines and Marauders pushing across the map. A 3rd CC on the way for our Terran, and a 2nd starport. He has seen the Colossus and is reacting with mass Viking play, getting Marauder slow as well as combat shield for his infantry units. Also, a armory. Not sure if he's getting that for +2 weapons or if he's going to go for ship weapons. It looks like he does not have a 2nd eBay out. A little bit of an engagement in the middle of the map here. Not a whole lot going on. I mean, not a whole lot of damage being done by that. Really just keeping pressure on the Protoss player. You see this factory here, and it's interesting with the factory like that. Oh, wait, never mind. A drop into the main. What I wanted to say about the factory is that if Fish goes to take it out, he's going to move his army out of position. So it's some valuable scouting information for Last Shadow. Meanwhile, a nice drop into the main. We do have an army also coming over to the 3rd. Looks like he's going to do some damage here. The drop will be forced to lift off in the main, but the push at the 3rd going to do some damage. If you're a Terran player, it's definitely a great thing to do, really. Use your units in squads like this against a Toss player. Try and get his army out of position. It's hard for Tosses usually to kind of keep their army, to split their army up. They really want to keep them together a lot. We do have the drop coming back in the main, doing some damage. Not a whole lot though. He's gonna lose this drop here. Let's see if he gets out with his medevac. A couple stalkers. Looks like the medevac's gonna make it out. Do have the factory at the natural still, and no saturation. If we check the income tab, 10 in the Terran's favor. He was able to. He's gonna float. Oh, he has an orbital. Gonna float to the 3rd. Looks like gonna produce 3 Vikings at a time, and go for a lot of Marines and some Marauders. Check out the production tab, +1 ship weapons and +2 infantry weapons. We do have Blink and extended thermal lance, plus +1 armor for the Toss player. At this point, it's pretty even game. A slight supply lead for our Terran player, 20 supply up. Nice amount of Vikings here to deal with the Colossus. Probably going to see some more. We do have extended thermal lance. Not seeing the Templar tech yet. He is going for Blink. Yeah, he has not gone for a Twilight Council yet. And meanwhile, taking his 3rd, it's going to be 3 base versus 3 base. Check the income tab. It's fairly even supplies, fairly even. Very even game. And this is a little worrisome for the Terran player going into the late game. The mid game is really where you want to make it. Do your damage. To really make your impression on the Protoss. Once you get the medevacs out, you can really drop a lot, do a lot of harassment damage. You get stim, you get maybe +1/+1. But as the Toss player macros up to 200, maxes out, it can be a little bit harder to engage him head on. Now, a player of Last Shadow's caliber, I'm not really worried about. I don't think he's worried about going against a max Protoss, but we'll see what he does. He is going to get his ghosts out in preparation for EMP against Templar, most likely. Looks like he's warping in a lot of Zealots here and going for charge. And I also, one thing is that if you're a Terran player and you're going against Toss, what I usually do is, just to make it easier, I'll get a planetary fortress at my 3rd. It can help you hold it a little bit, especially if it's in a forward position like this. Really, if a Toss pushes against you, it'll help you hold a battle and win a battle. And if you're having trouble with TvP, think about doing that. Last Shadow's a better player. He's up there. He can really hold his own with an orbital. But if it's something you're having trouble with, I'd recommend just going right for the planetary on this. It might help you hold it a little bit. We do see, it looks like he's going to go up to 5 bases here. A couple more CCs. Gonna try and take the economic advantage. It will be 5 base versus 3 base if Last Shadow can hold this. You see the supply is pretty even. And, Mobius Reactor on the way. A couple ghosts coming out. Also, if you're a Terran, you like to use ghosts in TvP. The trick you can do, if you don't already know it, is you build your Ghost Academy and then you start researching Mobius Reactor. And when that's halfway finished, if you notice, it takes 80 seconds to finish. Let me pause for a second. It takes 80 seconds to finish. A ghost takes 40. So what you do is you research Mobius Reactor, and then when it's halfway done, you start your ghost production. What this will do is when your ghosts finish, you'll end up with enough energy to launch an EMP right away. It's a very useful upgrade in TvP. I use it all the time. Every time I get ghosts, I'm almost always going Mobius Reactor first, followed by the ghosts 40 seconds later. And what happens, they pop. They have 100. What is it? Actually, I should. Let's see. How much? Okay, increases the energy by 25. So your ghosts are going to come out with enough energy to EMP. I believe that's 100 energy. It's, a little trick for you if you'd like to use ghosts in TvP or if you've never used them before. I recommend doing that and then getting Cloak and then going for nukes, because nukes are fun. I mean, not in the real world, of course, obviously. I don't want to get nuked, but I'd rather not nuke anybody. But in StarCraft, nukes are awesome, alright? So we will see Fish going to move down and take his fourth. It is blocked by a depot here from Last Shadow. Looks like he's going to go with planetary. I don't know. We'll see if he morphs another planetary here at the what's usually a third or a fourth base for the Terran. Really, he's going to anchor the end of his base here, at the edge of his flank with a PF. It's a nice move. You know, his way at the toss tries to attack him on the edge. He's got the PF, and probably, yeah, he's going to go for a PF on this side too as well. Here comes the personal cloaking for the ghosts, like I was saying, and +3 weapons. He's lagging on his infantry armor. Not certain. Usually I like to go, you know, +1, +1, +2, +2, +3, +3. But looks like an engagement going to happen. The Vikings flying out here. We do have about 14 Vikings. Check the Colossus count. 5 Colossus. Okay, we're going to see an EMP from the Ghosts. Very nice on the Colossus. Some kiting going on. Looks like the Vikings are going to take out a lot of the Colossus here. Warping in some Zealots. Landing the Vikings. Not certain about that. He could have gotten this last Colossus possibly, but he's going to have to micro back. Going to have to fall back. Looks like Fish does win that battle up by about 15 supply. But as this game goes on, you notice Last Shadow is on 5 bases versus 3. He's going to have an economic advantage. He's going to be able to out-macro his opponent a little bit. We check his racks count here. He's got, what, 9? Just in the main alone. Oh, a little bit over saturation at the natural here. Going to throw down another 2 CCs. Oh, and a third one. Not sure if these will turn into PFs or orbitals. They're both very good. You know, late game TvP as a Terran. Get some planetary fortresses out in the middle of the map to help you hold the battle. You know, the tallest army, pound for pound, is going to be stronger than a Terran army. They're very resilient units. Kind of how, you know, Zurich have very weak units, but they're cheap, easy to produce. Terran, a little bit beefier, but not as beefy as Protoss. So, in a straight-up battle, it can be hard to win an engagement against Toss. Planetary fortresses definitely help out a lot. +3, +2, +3 for our Toss player on the way, as well as some Archons smoking. Trying to take a 5th base. It is canceled. Nice push by Last Shadow here. The army of Fish going to come over. But, I don't know. Let's see. Actually, I've been talking a lot. I think I might have missed a couple drops there. That's, really not something you want to miss. Do have an observer scouting out this base. And looks like the Toss army going to push into the middle. Oh, a little missile turret. Not going to last very long here. Goes down. And, okay, we will have a planetary fortress. Looks like a little bit of engagement here. Stalkers pushing forward, poking. Going to try and take out this missile turret. Really got to watch. Let's see, we do have looks like a little bit of a drop going on there. Not a whole lot of action. And +3 ship weapon, or no, +2 ship weapons on the way for the Terran. And +1 shields. Our Toss player going to get 3/3 and then go for his shields, as well as a 5th Nexus here. Taking map control into the center. We do have a lot of CCs coming down. Looks like an orbital here, and then 2 PFs in the middle, as well as a couple missile turrets. Really marking off his half of the map versus Fish. This is a very long game, going into the late game, 24 minutes already. Let's see what happens here. Do have a little bit of a standoff. Looks like a couple Stalkers picked up here. Not going to do much damage. And the army, it's about 30 supply for the Toss. Not a whole bunch going on. A center turret. Really waiting to see what the move's going to be. We do have a Dark Shrine. Going to see some DTs here. Neither player maxing out. And we check the upgrades of the Terran. He's only at 3-1. He's lagging a little bit. Very interesting game here. Very close. 20 supply lead for the Toss. We do have a good amount of ghosts here. 8 ghosts. A lot of energy. Hopefully we see some good EMPs. They do make all the difference in a battle as a Terran versus a Protoss. If you can EMP the Templar, the Sentries, the Archons, you can really win the engagement. You have Vikings pushing forward. Are they going to snipe the Colossus? Oh, he loses a couple of Vikings. Does not get the Colossus. But these Stalkers have to be careful. Oh, an EMP on the Stalkers. They have to fall back. Very close. Very close there. Using a nice blink to get away. A couple pylons trying to warp in here. More of an engagement from the Vikings. They did. Looks like they picked off a Colossus. Able to pick off one. Lost a few Vikings. We'd have Storm on the way. Going to see Templar. As well as a 5th base for the a 6th base for the Terran. So it will be 6 versus 5. And Both players are pro 200, 200. Neither one really. Oh, there we go, maxing out for the toss. Likely to see the Terran max out soon, going for +3 ship weapons and +2 armor for his infantry. 3 Vikings at a time, 3 Ghosts at a time, and a couple Marauders. You really want to get a strong unit composition here as a Terran player, and as a Protoss player, you get the Ball of Death coin, Colossus, and then you get the Archon or the Storm Templar. Oh, nice EFPs from the Ghosts go down on the army. Very nice. Unable to get any storms off for our Protoss player. Really unfortunate. Now, those storms can really wreak havoc on a ball like this size right here. We do have the Templar down here. You know, while this engagement is going on, let me just check the energy on these guys. We do have enough for storms, but it looks like they're gonna. Oh, he gets the storm off. He's gonna lose his Templar though, losing them all. And some nice storms, but just not worth it losing 5 Templar like that. Really not worth it for the toss player. Gonna see a push into the 5th for Last Shadow, but he's got a small army. Both players with 135 supply. Gonna fall back now. He really has a nice wall. He's got the orbitals here for mules. If we check the income tab, it's fairly even. 4 more probes for the toss. And you likely can start to see the Terran trade some of these SCVs away as the game goes on to get a bigger army and use more mules. Probably another orbital morphing here, and it's going to be... Oh, an orbital here. Maybe this will be a planetary or another orbital. Not sure. Colossus, Viking. Sticking with the same unit compositions. These guys have been here a while, not doing very much. Still waiting. I know there were some nice drops earlier, but I haven't... Really waiting to see the toss player, the Terran drop a little bit. It's kind of a standoff in the middle of the map. Both players. Looks like the Terran has the advantage by about 30 supply. No, 20. That warping. A lot of zealots coming in. Gonna see an engagement here. Look at the Ghost get the EMP off. Look at all those zealots going down. 0 shields. Vikings on the Colossus. Gonna take out 1. Possibly get a second. Kiting back with the Marines and Marauders. Very nice play from Last Shadow. Really getting the Vikings onto the Colossus, EMPing the Zealots, and then kiting back with the Marines and Marauders. Losing his entire ground army here, but gonna reinforce. And he's up by about 40 supply, or 50 supply rather. A GG from Fish. Very nice play by Last Shadow. Very, very nice play. Very intense game, a long game. If you have not seen Last Shadow's build before, definitely check it out. It is a little CC first into 2 racks, with a little bit of a wall off, followed by 4 more racks as to go up to 6. And then he puts a little bit of pressure on the opponent, pokes up the ramp, does some damage. In this case, he got the natural expansion, sniped it. And then he macroed up, went to medevacs and stim, and got his 3rd and went from there. Very nice play. And on both sides, it was a very nice game. And let me know what you guys want to see. If there's a player you want to see more of, if there's somebody out there you're interested in watching some games from, I'd be happy to get it to you. It's been my pleasure. This is Captain America. Let me know what you think. Subscribe. Follow me on Twitter and Facebook. I hope to bring you a lot more casts in the future. It's been a busy week, but I'm trying to get back into it for the next week coming up. All right, ladies and gentlemen, have a good night and keep crafting.